Well, hi there. I'm Chris Andale, and I'm the founder of the Yard Card Business Network. I'm here today to talk to you about booing. To boo or not to boo? That is the question. Do you all know what booing is? Well, give me just a second, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you what it is. But before we do that, I want to just introduce you to two of my Halloween friends. This is Mr. Skittles. Isn't he adorable in his cute pumpkin? And this is Mr. Frankenpumpkin. I call him Frank for short. All right, so just as you can see, I've got a few of them set up. These are really popular at Halloween time for any of the local people who want to be booed. I haven't really called it booing, but it's booing. So anyway, give me just a second and I'm gonna get us all set up. Okay, so now I want to show you a little video, give it just a few minutes because it explains better what booing is. So I'm going to start that right now.
Ring the doorbell late at night. Leave a basket or a bucket of goodies on their doorstep with a note, and we'll show you that later in case you want to do that to your friends. So we're going to be showing you all of the stuff that we're going to be doing our friends with. We're going to be making our baskets now. We'll take you with us later as we move. You normally move people the 2 weeks before Halloween. We're going to be making 2 boo baskets to boo 2 of our friends. Some of the stuff that you put in boo baskets are some slime, some squishies, mostly candy, some glow-ons, some erasers, and you can put in some Halloween-themed objects too, like ghost fingers or Spider-Man.
So what you can see basically is what goes into a boo bucket. This just gives you some more ideas on what are good things to put in a boo bucket. And these are good boo buckets. So now they're ready to boo. I've got you covered on a custom Boo Printable, so don't forget about that. There's a bunch of other really cute ones online too, though.
So the link to this printout will be below.
This won't be quite the same for us, but this tells you how a traditional boo goes.
Okay, so we just booed Henry, George, and Audrey, and we think that they got the boo basket. So, you guys should definitely try this. It's really fun. Next, we're going to go Callie, Jack, and Brent. So, we're so excited. It was so fun. I'm happy that they didn't come out with cheese.
Now I'm showing you this one so you can see just how dark it is, because when we're the ones out there, we don't realize it as much. The struggle is real, worried you're going to get caught. All the lights are on. Yes, we know how this feels, don't we? All right, there they go. They're doing their ding dong ditch. All right. And I'm back. I hope you liked that fun little video to show what a traditional booing is like. And let's go on to the next portion. Okay, so one of the things that was briefly touched upon in their cute video was about having the We've Been Booed printable. And we've created a custom one for anybody who's going to boo, and I want to show that to you. So hold on one second, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, what we've done is actually put it on our website so that you can sign up for it. And let me show you that in just a second. All right. When you go to our link, you're going to go to this freebie, this Boo freebie. And you're going to put in, I'm just going to put in here, Sparkles the cat. Let's see, we'll do, gosh, I don't know. It's important you type in the right email address, and I'm in the Boo business, and then I'm gonna click on Get My Boo Freebie. Now I want y'all to realize, okay, this is it. There we go, we're gonna click on that. Ta-da, here we go, thank you for signing up. Click below to download your Boo card. Here we go, let's see if I need to do that. Oh, okay, there is more here, just so you know. A little bit more about the Yard Card Business Network, so be sure to read all of that when you get there, okay? Because we do appreciate your support. But now I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna download it. Here we go, and voila. Not sure if you can see that, but this is the instruction card. This is what you're getting. You've been booed, pass it on. And then do you see where we have the custom business information, yours there, and then up here you get it again, and then your information is here again. There we go. All right. And then, so this is the part that actually goes in their bucket, is the you've been booed. And then on the right side, it gives them the instructions on what to do, because you want them to call you and send a boo and pay it forward. This isn't just about the goodie basket. This is about your business as well. So this is where it's a lot more custom than doing just the traditional basket that normal people do. We're not going to be normal. So that's their instructions on how to do that. And then what they'll do, if they choose, is they'll hang a sign in their window that says, "We've been booed." Well, you want to make sure anytime you're giving somebody something, you've got your business name on it. So it's "We've been booed by Wow Yard Cards," whatever your business name is. So I hope you like that. And then what you get to do up here in the instructions is it tells you exactly what to do. And we'll go over that. Okay, so when it comes to how to edit our wonderful Boo card, once you download it, there's the instructions. But my fantastic marketing intern has also made a separate how-to video on exactly what to do. It's very quick and it's brief and it's pretty easy. You may not need it, but we'll post that tutorial separately just so you can go through that, just in case it helps just a little bit. Okay, now I want to show you what one of my friends does. She booed last year with her yard card business, the first time she's ever done it. She was brand new in the business, and I have permission to show hers off so that you can see what one of those looks like. It's a nice small package. Didn't have to be something huge. So let me go share my screen and show you. All right, this is my friend at Bloomin' Yard Cards in Florida, and this is what she did last year. It was just a very small something. You can see here, she has BOO, and you can probably notice she used letters that were already in her existing inventory. So the BO came out of that. And then she had a pumpkin sign made. And then she's got just a very few pieces put in here. And spoiler alert, These tombstones I don't know what she did, but they could easily have been purchased or something similar to it at the dollar store. You don't need to go spend $20, $15 a sign to get something for a very short season. So I'm showing you those for a reason. And let me see, I've got a couple of more of her. So there we go. That's exactly what that looked like. It's just a little something. It's Boo and 1, 2, 3, 4 small pieces, and it's just a little something. She has the cute little leave behind and a little Boo goodie bag, and that's it. So I will tell you that she did this. It was her very first year, and she has absolutely doubled her price for this year. She said it was not worth doing for the super low income it provided because of the time. And yeah, it's a small package, thankfully. However, it's still your time to be going out and doing it. So let me see. I think that might be the last picture. Okay, here we go. With this one, she did add just a couple of more little pieces here, but you can see you don't have to do something huge and ginormous. That is my biggest thing that I like to tell people is don't go out and spend a lot of money on Halloween inventory when you use it for a very small time period and you don't really know if people are going to rent it or not, whether you have competition or don't have competition. So let me get off of this and I will be right back. So now I've shown you Bloomin' Yard cards, and it's one of the companies I definitely know is going to do it this year, and that I feel comfortable because I have permission from her to show off her yard cards. I do know I have seen a bunch of vendors pop up that are doing it. Not all vendors, first of all, have even been in business for 6 months. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that there's very few that have actually been out there and done this before this year. And so there haven't been a lot of previous year's pictures to show anybody. And I don't want to go out and start showing various vendors because I don't want anybody thinking I'm endorsing one vendor over another, or why didn't I talk about this one, or any of that. So I'm just sticking with Bloomin' Yard cards to give you an idea. I'm betting you have been in some of these groups and you've already seen a lot of the Halloween designs that are out there, and there's so many. I could totally go spend a bunch of money and get some really cute things. However, I guess I'm gonna, instead of talking about the pros, I guess I'm gonna talk about the cons. The pros are probably pretty relevant. I'll back up and do that first. The pros of this are pretty obviously obvious. It's really fun, right? And all of our business is fun as far as going out and surprising people, especially this day and age. It's just, people really, really need it. So it's really fun. And it's also great for business as far as your visibility, as long as you have a strategy behind that. If you just go out and put some signs in a yard and hope that people will remember you, that's all fine and good. And if you already have the inventory, it's better to get it out there versus it sitting in your garage. Let me just say that again. If it's freebies you're doing, it's better to do freebies than to have it sitting in your garage. Just make sure you always have an advertising sign with it. I don't care if it's something homemade and you laminate it or you stick it in one of those sheet protectors. It may not be fancy, but you want your name out there no matter what you're doing, because that's your work and people aren't going to know. If you have competition, you want to make sure people know it's you. If you don't have competition, people may not even really get what this is. They still need to know who you are, competition or no competition. Okay, let's see real quick. Let me move on to something else. Okay, I think we've covered the obvious pros to this, right? It's just great. One other thing is it can also be a nice moneymaker. Just depends on how you do it and where you are in your business. So that's where we're going to also talk about, one, some of the cons, but two, just what you need to think about when you're doing this. Before I go into what you need to think about, I guess I should back up and say, here's some stuff to think about that might be considered cons. What are you going to do if your stuff gets vandalized or stolen? Now, this is, something that everybody wonders about in the industry since the beginning of time, by the way. And some people are like, well, you know what? We don't do anything. Other people, like me, I say I charge the client. And so for every missing piece, I send them a bill basically. However, that's great in theory. It doesn't really work that well. Lots of reasons why. I won't go into all of that right now. That's a whole different conversation we can have. Remind me if you want to have that conversation, by the way, and I can do a whole conversation, a session on that. When it comes to Halloween time, and I say Halloween time because you could start this, and I recommend it at the very beginning of October. October 1, you have your first Boo out there. Free, not free. It needs to be out there. It needs to start floating around. What are you going to do if it gets stolen or vandalized? Some sort of damage. Think about what you're going to do on that. If you are one of the opinion that you're absolutely going to charge your customer who ordered this, you absolutely need to be very upfront about that when they're placing the order. And I don't mean just putting it in your terms and conditions. Do you read the terms and conditions? Facebook just sent out a notice that said that they're updating their terms and conditions as of October 1st. Did you go and read them? Most people really do not go and read terms and conditions of places. So in our business, we have to be very assertive and let them know, here's exactly what this means since it's a rental. If you're going to charge them for anything that's missing or damaged, they need to know that. And just be prepared for one, if they do rent from you, for it to go south. Two, potentially to just not get the orders. So it's something to weigh based on, okay, so if you have a set of inventory that's one set and it could potentially be used, let's say, I'm just going to say be conservative, 5 times. If on that 5th time it was destroyed, when will you have paid for it to where, not that it's okay, but at least then you wouldn't have any issues with it not being there and being available. I hope I'm saying that okay, that you understand that. Think about what you'll do with anything that's damaged or destroyed. Halloween is October 31st, and it's a Saturday this year. And it's coronavirus season still. People are tired. People are getting out when they can, at least some of them. The ones that are involved in this want to be out, right? So think about, what are you going to do? Actually, Halloween night is the one night of the year I have historically not had signs out on purpose, where if somebody's got a birthday, I will go, and if it's the day before that I set up, I will go and pick up before dark on Halloween, because people, doesn't matter if it's an affluent neighborhood. Side note, affluent neighborhoods actually can have a bit more vandalism than a lot of our regular normal middle class neighborhoods. I've seen that, and it's tried and true. And my experienced flockers, we all know what we're talking about on that. I can promise you that. But regardless, if I've got a birthday that's on Halloween, I'll just have to pick up before it gets dark. And one, okay, maybe that's fine for you. Two, if you're like me, and I have built this business with little bitty kids in tow for up until recently, actually, they're 21 and 19 now. What would that be like for Halloween for you? I know in my house, it would not have been nearly as much fun, because it was exciting for my kids, for us to be, one, we had Halloween parties at school, fall festivals, and then they were excited and wanted to dress up, and we would get things ready. The last thing I wanted to go do, and I was not going to do, was go to work. It's one of those nights that's special for my family, to just have that family time. And I'll tell you, now that they're older, I miss trick-or-treating. I miss the movies. I miss that entire environment. So don't get stuck in work. You know, I'm going to make $100 tonight. Is that worth it? So I want you to think about your time on that and what you're going to do about that vandalism and anything that's stolen. Because quite frankly, if you go out there and then you tell the customer you're going to charge them for it, one, how are you going to charge them for it? If you have their credit card information, well, then okay, you hopefully better have something in writing or they will dispute it with the credit card company, and you don't want disputes. I can promise you that if you can keep away from those, it's very good. Two, you can send them a bill and say, hey, I really need you to pay this. You might occasionally find somebody that will. However, in that process, you're creating a very negative experience with your company. And sure, they could say, oh yeah, you know what? They told us up front, if something happened, we were going to be responsible for it. But that doesn't make them feel better about having to pay that bill. So just something to think about. Okay, I'm going to move on. So hold on 1 second. Okay, it's me again. I keep trying to do this in sections so that it's not too crazy in case it's a really long training. So I hope that's not too horrible for you. And in case you don't know me, I really do not like doing video. I don't like being in front of the camera. I love teaching and I love marketing. But this whole being in front of the camera is very awkward. And so I appreciate your patience with me. As I try to remember to breathe and keep going. So anytime you see me pausing, it's so that I can make sure I'm putting together as good of a video as I can for you. So thank you for that. And I'm going to go back and we're going to get started again on the next portion. Okay, what do I think you should spend? And really, it's an investment on Halloween for yourself for the Boo season. I think it depends. That's not a very easy answer. But here's the thing. Let's say you tally up everything you're going to spend. And number one, have a budget and be strategic. Don't just impulse buy because something looks cute or something looks like, oh, I bet I'm going to need that. If you can't stick to a budget, you may not have the best results by December 31st, 2020, when everything's done for the year. So set a budget. Think about how much you're going to charge. That's a big one I keep getting asked. And quite frankly, only you can know that. But if you're charging $25, I can promise you, you will probably be tired. And that's okay, if that's okay with you. But what's going to be your end game? If you charge $25 and your regular price is $75, unfortunately, it may not end up giving you the business in the future that you're looking for, because people will be saying, oh, you know what? I did that for $25. Where's that package? Why would I spend $75 when I bet you, you know what, she's got a smaller package and we can just do that. It's great to have different price points. But when it comes to this, a $25 package, unless it's literally your next door neighbor, may not be the right thing for you. If you run yourself ragged and at your best break even, I understand everybody's going to say, oh, it's for advertising. It's an advertising expense. Great, if people do it right. And that doesn't just mean crossing your fingers and hoping that they call you. That means being proactive in the rest of your marketing. And that's a whole other training as well. So I just want to bring that to your attention, because if you know you can do on a regular night 3 orders a night, is that what you probably do? 3 orders, 5 orders? I know somebody that does 20 orders a night. So whatever your maximum is, think about, do you have enough inventory and enough staffing time to do all of those orders? It's just one thing I want you to think about. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to do anything, because I definitely think if you're comfortable with the season, think about your neighborhood as well. You may live somewhere that they absolutely do not endorse Halloween. So that's totally something you need to think about as well. And my one piece of advice, because I can go on these tangents really easily, is to ask your customers, before you invest any money and your time in doing any of this. Get out there on Facebook, on text messages. If you're in person with people, ask them. And don't just ask anybody. Ask people that are your current customers or people you would like to be your customers. Not everybody's your perfect customer. I know people, I live near NASA, and there's plenty of people here who are just like, why would people do that? So those aren't the people you want to talk to. Don't take advice from them. Don't say, oh yeah, well, they know what they're talking about, I shouldn't do this. Talk to the people who like this. If you know somebody who's into decorating in general, they're people that are going to like this. Make sure they have disposable income. This is probably not for people who are unemployed and are hoping to maybe pay the rent next month. I would feel terrible if it was rent money being used for a yard card, but that's just me. So think about that and go ask them. If you don't get a response, then maybe it's something you need to think about whether you want to do it or not. So, okay, my cat's going to meow for a minute, and so I'll be right back. Okay, I think she is settled, so we're going to keep going, and hopefully this will be done soon. Hopefully you're finding value in this. If you are, will you please leave a comment? Let me know. If you don't like any of it, please just stop now, because I don't want to take up any more of your time. But if you do like anything, let me know what it is, because that's really helpful for me to move on for any future times that I come on and try to have a conversation with you. Okay, so I think we talked about the cons, like officially, you know, whether you're going to make any money on it, discounting them. I mean, they just have to be, they don't have to, nothing has to. It is widely recommended that you're going to discount a Boo. With that, that means to narrow down the neighborhoods you're going to be in. I would not go, let's just say your discounted price is $50. And I know, don't get caught up on that, whatever your discounted price is. But would you want to go drive 30 minutes away or 30 miles away, whatever's further for you, for that discounted price? Probably not. I don't recommend it. So find your local schools, whatever your local neighborhood is, where are your ideal customers? That's where you want to be seen, and that's who you want to boo. And make sure you put it in any of your advertising and any of your Facebook messages and anything you do that you're communicating with. Talk about how this is a special promotion. You don't want them to think that this is something they're going to be able to get, and that this is just a limited one-time chance to go out and do this special booing. Because that way they're not going to get as stuck in, oh, well, you know what, that was $50 and your regular pricing is $100. I'm regularly $100, and I say that's a general price. So make sure you just stick with your local area. And if you want to really up-level your game, well, this isn't really up-leveling. Talk to your neighborhood. If you all have a Facebook group, post on there, do a neighborhood special. So if you can do your own neighborhood, if I could do my own neighborhood, I would probably do it for $40. If it's right down the street, I would do it for just a few dollars less, because it's literally 50 seconds from my house. But try to do that. You can also set up your package at the park or somewhere local, even in your own yard, and invite people to come over. If you have a professional, or if you have a photographer, have them come over as well, and charge for these little mini sessions. You can charge $10 for somebody to come in and snap a few photos. There's just a couple little things like that. And this is what I was going to get to, was if you really want to up level, go and talk about doing this as a fundraiser. Right now, PTAs, PTOs, booster clubs, a lot of nonprofits, if you go to your local school, to the PTA or to the principal, you can work with them to do this as a fundraiser where you're going to give back, let's say $10. So if it's a $50 boo and you're going to give them $10 for every boo. And then you also know it's in that local community, and schedule them. That's the luxury of it not being a birthday, is that these can be scheduled. So you could be in neighborhood A on Monday nights, and you could be in neighborhood B on Wednesday nights. And then you can schedule them. And here's the other thing, because they're going to want to raise money, you're the hero, right? You're the hero for your community and for your school, that you just help them raise whatever amount of money. And right now, fundraising is really sketchy considering the situation that we're in. Okay, so I hope that that's helped. I hope that that just kind of gets your wheels turning about some of the opportunities that you've got there. And let's see if there's anything else I want to end with. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself, and so I apologize for not being organized enough to have all my thoughts together properly. But when it comes to buying inventory, I want you to think outside the box. You don't need 30 pieces to have a boo. A boo is it's the thought that counts, right? So you saw my friend at Bloom & Yard Cards. She has literally like 6 to 8 pieces, right? So it doesn't take a lot. Does it have to say boo? Does it have to be individual letters? No, you need a focal point, and then you need some accent pieces. Pretty simple. So you don't want them to be too tiny though. I wouldn't do, let's see, my guys, let's see, Frank here is about 18 inches. And so he has a good representation. They could be smaller than that though, if you've got some small yards. What I recommend, however, is looking at a mixture of what you can do. And let me show you real quick a few of the sites just to get your wheels turning again, because as great as it is to go buy inventory at one place, and that might be all you need to do, but if you need to do this on a major budget, all the vendors are probably going to just shoot me at this point, but you don't have to order everything from all the big vendors. Do they have some great packages? Probably. And so then that would be great. And let's see, I'm just about done. What do you think so far? Are you tired, or do you have any takeaways from this? Has any of this been helpful? I know I could keep going on and on because there's so many thoughts I have, and my brain goes about 500 miles an hour and I can't get all the words out. I don't want to throw up on you with all of my thoughts and ideas. So I'm going to leave it at this. And don't forget, we have that really cute free Boo Printable, and I will put a link on here somewhere, but basically you can find a link at our website at yardcardbusiness.com. And all of this is sponsored by the Yard Card Business Network. And so we just want to make sure we can get this in your hands. And if you're looking for other support, we are here. We are the gold standard. We've been doing this for a long time. We're always learning. And we have a lot of great trainings that we've already had, Facebook ads and all kinds of other things, and more that are already scheduled. So we also hope you'll check us out there. Anyway, good luck with your booing. To boo or not to boo, that is your question. And I want you to let me know whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please, I want to know if you're going to boo or not going to boo. And let's make this a really fun season, regardless of whether you're booing or not booing. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you next time. Cheers.